Okay. Andrew, thanks for your time. Obviously, a trade is a good one when it benefits both sides. What is the upside for the Dodgers in your mind in this one?
Well, obviously, from our standpoint, Pass was a guy that fits our current roster really well. Switch hitter, can play third base, second base, first base, so that added versatility, kind of extends our bench a little bit further.
This is a deep bench already, and you obviously have two very capable third basemen, or else you wouldn't have been trading Uribe. Where do you anticipate Callaspo fitting in?
I mean, just that kind of coming off the bench, being a left-handed presence. Right now with Crawford out, we've been lacking the left-handed presence. We've been playing with a shorter bench for a month now, and so having versatility, if and when we go back to that, only helps. So kind of spot starting at first, second, third, serving as a layer of depth and a pinch hitter off the bench.
In your dealings with them, at first he vetoed coming over here. Do you know what changed his mind? Did you have anything to do with that?
Yeah, I mean, we talked to him, and I think, part of it is, it's all kind of happens pretty suddenly, and, he was playing quite a bit over there, and just faced the reality of playing less was something that he just had to kind of wrap his arms around and think through, and we were honest with him in terms of kind of what to expect, and then I think he slept on it and continued to kind of think about it throughout the day, and was excited about coming here and playing with this group of guys and in front of these fans.
Why do you think Uribe was the best movable piece for you at this time?
Well, I mean, obviously Juan's meant a tremendous amount to this organization for the last 5 years. Great pro, great teammate. And it had just gotten to a point with, how JT was playing, how Alex was playing, and I know Donnie was very active in his communication with Juan and just trying to explain what was going on, and things were changing daily. It was kind of an evolving process, and throughout the conversations, his agent reached out and said, Juan wants to play, which we get and we respect, and just the way things have played out with JT and Alex, kind of responding to, if you guys can trade him, he would like that. He'd like to go play. So we set about kind of looking at different teams, different opportunities, different matches, and again, with Juan in the bench role, we just felt like Caspo kind of fit us a little bit better, just with the redundancy from right-handed bats, and we were able to add some pitching depth with Ian Thomas and Jaime and Stoltz.
Did Juan ask to be traded?
I mean, his agent, I don't know, semantics of if he did, but he wants to play every day. When we got that and we understood it, and again, I think it was just about lots of dialogue back and forth between me, Donnie, Juan, everyone involved, and honest communication. And so we know exactly where Juan stood. He knew what was going on with us, and it was handled very, very professionally, and Juan wanted to play every day, and I think he's in a good spot to do that. And I think just adding Callaspo and the versatility in the left-handed bat kind of fits where we are right now a little bit better as well.
And Withrow still on the deal, working his way back, but what was the willingness to let him go in the deal?
Withrow's a guy that when I was with the Rays, I actually tried to acquire, so I appreciate how good he can be, and obviously he's rehabbing from Tommy John and also back surgery, and he's going to take a little bit of time to come back, but he's been working extremely hard to get back, and I think he's a pretty high upside reliever. We happen to have some depth with right-handed relief arms, and the immediacy of just continuing to add pitching depth, now as opposed to looking ahead to 16, was something that kind of helped push it over for us.
How soon did you see Withrow coming back?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to put a timeline on it. I think in our minds we were kind of counting on 2016, but it's not to say he wouldn't have come back in September, but just in terms of him getting back to what he was, in our minds we were thinking 2016.
Thomas goes to AAA. Is he going to start or relieve there?
He's going to continue to get stretched out. We think he's got a chance to be a starting pitching option for us. He's been pitching out of the pen more recently. We'll kind of see how that goes. We feel like his floor is as a good major league reliever that can help us get outs, but actually has a chance to pitch in our rotation and serve as depth for us at a time where that's big emphasis of ours.
You know if you're going to be able to keep Stoltz yet, Andrew?
I don't. I mean, he's pitching depth for us. He obviously pitched a lot last night, and between 40 man and how long he would be down, kind of went this route. But hopefully he stays with us and can serve as pitching depth.
When you're trying to accommodate like a guy like that who wants to play every day, how do you go about finding the right team? Do you just get the word out that you're looking to move this guy, or how's it work?
No, I mean, I think just through dialogue with the other 29 teams, you get a feel for what other teams are thinking about and what they're open to, and from that you can kind of narrow it down and have conversations to figure out if anything will line up that helps us. And we felt like we found a situation where it worked out well for one, worked out well for us, and again, not to minimize what he's meant to this organization and what he's done, but with the way JT and Alex have kind of emerged and the playing time and how it was being sparsed out, just made it to where this made more sense for us from a roster construction standpoint.
I think one of the only criticisms on JT is that he's not an everyday guy, yet he's been getting a significant amount of playing time. Has that opinion of him changed in your mind, or do you still plan on backing off of it with him?
I mean, for us, health is the only real limiting factor. He's a good defender, professional at bats, can handle right-handed and left-handed pitching. For us, it's just about making sure that he's healthy and being proactive to make sure we don't get to that point of playing too much and enabling him to get hurt. But Alex actually helps with that as well. Kayaspo helps with that. Kike helps with that. And so we can kind of figure out the right mix and how to keep everyone fresh and healthy, and try to match it up with different pitchers, whatever gives us the best chance to win on any given day.
What about the decision to DFA Santos and Kalakaisi?
We're just at a point right now. Slik's been bothered by a little thing in his back, and it's not big, but it's limiting, and that he's not playing tonight, obviously. And so just being at 12 position players is hard when you have one of them down, and so just to get back to the more traditional 13 position players, 12 pitchers, we're going to do that in the short term, and then figure out, once we get past today and think about the doubleheader and going on the road, what we want to, how we want to reconfigure, we'll figure it out from there.
Is your hope to keep Santos in the organization?
Absolutely.
You added pitching depth today, but clearly starting pitching is still a need, and with Hector waiting in the wings, is this team done doing moves for starting pitching and adding pitching depth?
I don't think we'll ever be done. It's obviously a real point of emphasis for us right now, but it was in the off season. It will be next off season. I don't know that we're ever going to reach a point where we're not looking to augment our starting pitching depth. So no, I mean, certainly if we haven't put our feet up and said, okay, we acquired starting pitching depth, it's something that we're going to continue to kind of monitor and keep our finger on the pulse of what's going on there. And if we don't have another injury for the rest of the year, we feel like we've got pretty good guys in house. But obviously it doesn't play out that way, and just because we've had a couple doesn't mean that more won't pop up. And it's just the nature of the game, and something that we're very mindful of trying to get in front of it as much as we can.
When does Oliveira start at Rancho? Do you know?
I don't know yet.
How long will he be there versus Oklahoma City?
I don't know.
Andrew, does the Glasgow acquisition change that time frame with Oliver at all?
No. I mean, Hector's a guy that we feel like has potential to be a middle of the order type bat, and we're kind of viewing it through the lens of what's right for Hector right now, and trying to make sure he's in baseball shape, and just getting accustomed to the playing every day and building his body up for that. And so that takes time, and I don't know exactly when, because we're kind of assessing day by day and trying to figure it out, but we're going to let the Oliveira timeline kind of dictate itself, and then when we get to the point where we feel like Hector's ready, we'll then just assess where we are, and maybe we'll be in a position to call him up at that point, maybe we won't, but I won't know until we actually get to that point.
Andrew, look, knowing what you knew about what Juan's agent told you, were you concerned that if you kept him on the team, it could turn into a distraction with him wanting to play every day?
No, because of who he is. You know, we had, again, a lot of good, honest conversations, and he didn't hold back, and we didn't either. It was very open and honest, but I don't think it would have filtered over into the clubhouse. He's just too much of a pro and too good of a teammate for that to happen.
Andrew, was there an attempt made in the beginning to do a smaller deal that did not include Withrow?
I mean, we've talked about a lot of different things for a while. We've talked to him about Ian Thomas for a little while, so that was actually the conversation we had in spring training about Ian Thomas, and just kind of picked it up and kept talking about different players, and it just kind of evolved to this point.
Were you guys involved with Tyasco receiving a monetary incentive to accept the deal after the first rejection?
That was between him and the Braves.
With Jaime, is it really just about his control, and is that just the plan of attack in Camelback right now?
Exactly. He's got 2 pluses, can really miss bats, and the only real limiting factor on him right now is his command. And so we're going to get him to Camelback with our guys down there and really try to attack the problem and do everything we can to put him in position to harness it even a little bit. And if we're able to do that, we feel like we've added a very, very good back-end reliever.
What level could he reach potentially this year?
I mean, he was in the big league, so I mean, I'd say he could be in the big leagues.
Who's he going to work with, you know, John, then?
There's a number of people. We're going to have different guys kind of opining on it and working with them and trying to figure it out.
What's the most difficult part of your job when it comes to dealing with these trades, especially if it's a guy like a Juan Uribe that's beloved?
You know, the human aspect of it's obviously very real, but in this case it was at least a little bit easier in that Juan wanted to go play every day and, you know, wouldn't take the news of him going to play every day poorly. Obviously it was emotional for him just leaving his teammates, leaving this organization. But last night we had a really good conversation about that, and you know, I think personally it was tough for him, but professionally he was excited.
As
Thank you.
always.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Andrew.